Come with me as I chase waves from Hurricane Debby. I have been tracking Hurricane Debby for the past week or two. At first, it looked like it was going to go to the east side of Florida, but the storm moved west, looking to set up nicely for the Florida Gulf to get waves. The day prior, Saturday, August 3rd, Surfline was calling 8 to 10 feet by the afternoon. I then checked Windy, another app, and the wind looked to be offshore all day in Clearwater, more specifically Sand Key. From the looks of the report, it looked like the waves wouldn't show up until late morning to early afternoon. This worked out in my favor, as the night before, some friends and I saw Dirty Heads and Slightly Stupid at the Sound Clearwater. After I got home from the concert, I set my alarm for 7:45 a.m., anxious to find waves the next morning. As expected, I was a bit groggy from the 8 IPAs I had at the concert. I was able to start my mission at 8:30 a.m. As expected, we had tropical storm conditions. It was windy and rainy. Wind gusts were topping at least 30 miles an hour. I won't lie, I debated not going, as the drive to Clearwater from Tampa sounded somewhat dangerous. But the inner surfer in me always wins. Being a surfer living in Tampa, I only get a few chances a year to get waves close-ish to home. So I packed up. I had no way of truly knowing how big the waves could get this day. Would Surfline be right? Was it really going to be 8 to 10 feet? So I brought both my surfboards, a Firewire Dominator 2 for average conditions, and a Hayden-shaped black noise, a step up if the waves actually got a few feet overhead. After I packed up my car, off I went. Clearwater still showed to be offshore all day, and Surfline did not change their forecast too much. I made my 48-minute drive to Sand Key from Tampa. The whole ride was windy and rainy, as expected. I was a little nervous that a bridge or two would be closed and ruin my trip. I finally got to Sand Key, and the beach access was locked. Sand Key has some good sandbars, so I was pretty disappointed, but my journey continued through the storm. I found a beach access a few miles down or so, still around Clearwater, that was not gated. I got to the beach around 10:30 a.m., and I ran to the beach excited for pumping waves, just to find 1-foot peelers. Had I come all this way for nothing? Although Surfline was calling 8 to 10 feet, I knew this might happen if I chose to go to Clearwater. The way Florida is shaped, Clearwater faces north and does not get south swell, which is where the storm is coming from. Although Clearwater had offshore winds, which makes the water super glassy, the swell did not show up on the beach. I thought it would be big enough that it would show up, but I was wrong. I knew at that moment I had to sacrifice the offshore wind and go south, where the wind was side shore, in order to get a piece of the Debby swell. I checked a few spots on my way south, but once I got to Indian Rocks, I started to notice the swell. Once I saw Indian Rocks, I knew one of my favorite breaks on the Gulf would be working, so I headed straight there. The beach is called Sunset Beach in Treasure Island. I actually got engaged there at the end of 2023. Maybe that's why it's one of my favorite spots. Back to surfing. Sunset is fun because it has a jetty that makes it almost like a point break. If the swell is from the south, there's a decent left, and if the swell is from the north, there's a decent right. As I was driving there, I was praying that the wind did not get on it. When I arrived around 12, it looked very fun, even though the wind was side shore. Although not 8 to 10 feet, it was waist to shoulder high with the occasional plus set. Very fun conditions for the Gulf. I got out there as quickly as I could and surfed all afternoon. The wind was offshore enough that it stayed pretty clean all day. When I got home, I had to check Golfster, like I always do, to see if someone got any photos of me. There were no photos of me, but the photographer took a lot of amazing photos from the session at Sunset Beach. Thanks for joining me through my adventure surfing Hurricane Debby. Phew!